Hey students, how's it going? What's up? So today we are back with our second video for the chapter we have started, heat. And today is the most interesting part of the chapter, which is the question and answer session. So I hope you have tuned up, you have just fastened your seatbelts because it's a long run, but it's going to be really interesting. I have a set of MCQs and fill in the blanks which will help you cover up what we had learned the previous day. So let's get started. Okay, so first what we can see in the screen is a set of fill in the blanks. Let's read all of them out and then we'll discuss one by one. First, I would recommend you to give it a try, pause the video and try to solve it by yourself. I'm always there to discuss with the answers, but it's what matters is how test yourself, how much you have learned or how much you have a grasp over your concept. So, okay, let's start with the first exercise, which is fill in the blanks. The first question, here it goes. The hotness of an object is determined by its dash. Think about it, what we had discussed. What are the factors which decides on the hotness of the object? I'll give you 2 more seconds. Let's reveal the answer. So what we see the answer is, hotness of an object is determined by its temperature. We had discussed it previously that temperature is the measure of hotness. We can measure or deduce it to a degree with the help of the scale called temperature. Next one, number B. Temperature of boiling water cannot be measured by dash thermometer. Now it's an interesting question. We are talking about the temperature of boiling water, which is way above our normal body temperature. So what is the thermometer which we use while measuring our body? That would be the one which we cannot use in this case. I'll give you 2 more seconds. Let's reveal the answer. It is clinical thermometer. As we all know that the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, which is actually a very burning point for a human body. So the clinical thermometer which we use or doctors use does not have a scale up to 100 degrees Celsius. So when we use it for measuring the temperature of water, it will probably burst or damage the thermometer which we have, if it's a digital one. Okay, let's go and see number C. Temperature is measured in degree dash. We had very clearly discussed about the units of temperature. So give it a thought. What were the 3 units which we had discussed? Any one of them can be answered here because there's no specific SI unit being asked. So you can answer any of the 3. I'll give you 2 more seconds. Let us reveal the answer. Okay, so we have written the answer Celsius here, but you always have the freedom to write Kelvin and Farenheit if specifically SI unit is not being asked. If it is mentioned that please mention SI unit degree, you have to mention Kelvin. Celsius or Fahrenheit will not fetch you marks at that case. Okay, number D. No medium is required for transfer of heat by the process of. Okay, there was a very particular slide where we had mentioned that a medium is not required. About the topic transfer of heat, there were 3 processes. Try to guess this answer. Actually, you shouldn't guess it, you should know it by now. I'll give you 2 more seconds. Okay, let us reveal the answer. So the answer is radiation. I clearly remember that we were speaking about radiation, mobile towers, and not affecting the medium around us. We don't feel radiation passing around. So obviously the answer here is radiation. There's no doubt about it. I would recommend you to copy this down in your notebook or somewhere where you can go through this before your exams. These are like the most important questions which are usually asked in the middle school classes. Okay, number E. A cold steel spoon is dipped in a cup of hot milk. Heat is transferred to its other end by the process of... Okay, now this is a very application-based question. We can experience it in our usual days when you are drinking a soup or a hot milk, a bowl of cereal, and you have a steel spoon or a metal spoon. You usually tend to burn your lips when it's too hot. So think about it, which process is being applied here. I'll give you 2 more seconds. Okay, let's reveal the answer. And the answer is conduction. We really remember this, that it is traveling from particle to particle without any actual movement of particles. It is being transferred just like the pass pillow example which I gave you last day. So this is based on the principle of conduction. Okay, the last question is more or less a GK type question. This might come in your exam, but it's something you have to apply your brains for this. Clothes of dash colors absorb more heat better than clothes of light colors. I'm sure most of you have guessed it correct. Still, let us see the answer. So the clothes of dark colors absorb more heat better than clothes of light colors. So with this, we have completed our first exercise. We'll move on to the next set of exercise which we have. This is the multiple choice questions. Okay, one thing for sure, multiple choice questions is something which is very important, and students tend to make mistakes because there are a lot of choices and you simply confuse yourselves that this might be an answer and the other one might also be an answer. So the purpose of multiple choice question is to specify or get your knowledge up to the mark in the tips of your fingers so that you are sure what answer you are writing. You cannot beat around the bush about your knowledge while multiple choice questions come about. So let's go to the first question, and here we go. The direction of flow of heat is, and your option is always from hotter body to a colder body, always from cooler body to a hotter body, always from a body at a lower temperature to a body at a higher temperature, and last but not the least, all of the above. I'll give you 3 more seconds to go. Okay. So the very first definition which we had learned about heat was that heat transfers from a hot body to a cold body. So if you have guessed the answer correct, very good. And if you had got this one wrong, I would recommend you to go through the previous video again and try to get your concepts cleared out. So next question. Which of the following devices is used for measurement of temperature of human body? This question should be guessed correctly by all students, and I'm sure most of my students are smart enough to get this answer correct. I'll give you 3 more seconds. Okay, let's the answer be revealed. So the answer is clinical thermometer. It's a very simple answer. I'm sure that most of you got it correct. Okay, let the third question reveal. The clinical thermometers presently in use in India are marked with temperature scale. This scale corresponds to which of the following? This is a GK based question, but I'm sure most of you will guess it correct because the options are very simple. Option A Celsius, option B Farenheit, option C both A and B, and option D none of this. So previously I've told you that multiple questions are like runs your brain or makes you really quick and smart. If you have guessed this answer correct, then give it a thumbs up. Okay, let us reveal the answer. So the answer is both A and B. Since we had discussed previously that the units of temperature are Celsius and Fahrenheit, so both A and B are correct. So the answer goes both A and B. So now in this case, if you had chosen A or only B, you would have got it wrong because both the answers are correct, and so the answer C is more appropriate. Okay, let's go through the fourth question. The flow of heat by conduction is generally observed in case of... Okay, this is a very easy question. We discussed one of this type in the fill in the blanks exercise. So I'm sure most of you will get it correct. I'll give you 3 more seconds. So yes, the answer is solids. Congratulations to all of you who got it correct, and if you haven't guessed it correctly, then I would recommend you again to go through the videos. Don't feel sad, you will get it, don't worry. So solids are the one. In solid, heat flows from one part of the solid to another part by conduction. Again, conduction means the heat being transferred from particle to particle without actual movement of the particles. Okay, next question. Number 6. In which mode of heat transfer does heat transfer occurs as a wave? See, this question should be answered correctly because we discussed it already. I'll still give you 3 more seconds. Okay, let us see the answer. So the answer is radiation. Obviously, in radiation, heat is transferred as a wave. What we call is radio waves. So these are a form of electromagnetic waves which you will study in your future classes. But the basic knowledge of just radio waves and radiation will help you pass your exams up to class 8. Okay, question number 7. Expansion of a substance on heating depends on... Option A, nature of the substance, rise in temperature, both A and B, and color of the substance. Think wisely before answering this question, because this question is something, if students don't get their concepts clear, might make a mistake out of here. I'll give you 3 more seconds to think. Okay, let us reveal the answer. So the answer is both A and B. I clearly remember that I had mentioned the heating expansion, thermal expansion in my previous module. So, nature of the substance, obviously, if it's a solid metal, it will expand more than a wood. And rise in temperature, obviously, the one which have more temperature will expand more than the one which has lower temperature. So, it's a very common GK type question, or you can say common sense question, application based, and I'm sure if you understand the topic very clearly, you will be able to answer this very correctly. Okay, question number 8 coming up. Process of change of state from gaseous state to liquid state is called freezing, sublimation, boiling, and condensation. Try to memorize, try to remember, visualize the table which I had given you, the arrow table or the arrow diagram where all the processes were there. Okay, I'll give you 3 more seconds to think about it, and we'll reveal the answer in the count of 3, 2, and 1. The process of change of state from gaseous state to liquid state is called condensation. You've guessed it correct. When we are boiling water and there's water vapor and we put the lid down and we see water droplets, that is a very basic example of condensation taking place. Question number 9. It is a reliable measure of degree of hotness of an object. It is heat, temperature, both of these and none of this. Okay. This was the very first module which I had taught you, heat versus temperature. Think wisely before answering this. If you get this wrong, I'll really be upset. I'll give you 3 more seconds. Okay, let us reveal the answer. So the answer is temperature. Always keep in mind that heat is a form of energy and not a scale to be measured. Whereas temperature has a degree, it is a scale. It can measure something, it has a unit. Don't mix up heat and temperature as the same thing. It's completely different. Okay, now we come to the last question. The last question will be super easy for everyone. So let us see the question. What do you mean by heat? Now everyone must start laughing right now because after solving such questions, I give you a very easy one. But still, this is an easy one for all of you. What do you mean by heat? Let us go through the options. Heat is a measure of temperature. Heat is a form of potential. Heat is a form of energy which gets transferred from a hot to a cold body, and none of the above. Think wisely. Last question. Everyone should get it correct. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Heat is a measure of temperature. Heat is a form of potential. These both are wrong. So the correct answer is it is a form of energy which gets transferred from a hot to a cold body. So this is basically the definition which I had provided you in my previous module. If you had seen that video, you will surely get this answer correct. So in today's video, what we have done is discuss the fill in the blanks of a set of questions, heat and MCQs. I'm sure you have noted down all these questions, and if you haven't, I would recommend you to note this down and see these questions whenever you're preparing for an exam or a class test. These will really help because these are like the most asked questions, and all of these might not come, but 1 or 2 might come, and you will score full marks in that question while your friends might not be able to score full marks. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe our channel, like, share, comment, and stay tuned. Thank you.